related to medical expenses in Florida and also expenses related to travel for graduation of Hope. State your reasons why you think contempt is appropriate.
Sure, Your Honor. Just that they moved to Florida, and that John had made some pretty big promises to Hope to get her to move to Florida with him. She did not really want to go. He has, assured the Ann Height that, he would pay for her round trips to come home for vacations, which did not happen, and was found in contempt for March when she came home because he did not pay. And moving forward, going to graduation, I had asked that, Hope, pick us up, as she had a broken car. And so I said, well, can you have your dad?
Funds are related to medical expenses in Florida and also expenses related to travel for graduation of Hope.
I have the money to rent cars. He made it nothing but harder for me to come. I'm on a very limited income. I'm on permanent disability. And he had stated that he would help me any way possible in accommodating me to come to Florida if I come to see her round trip. So that was that one. And I only put in for 50% of what I paid. I just thought that was fair. And also,
could I ask you a question on that, Ms. Wanzer?
Sure.
Related to your travel expenses to Florida, is there a court order that requires Mr. Miranda to pay for a rental car for travel expenses?
No, it was just stated that it was kind of a open statement there that he would just help me with accommodations when I came, if I were to come round trip.
Okay. All right. Thanks. And then why don't you tell me about the medical expenses?
The medical expenses, she's on his insurance, and she got very sick a week before graduation and had to go to the ER. Also, she had, told her dad that she was sick, and he was just like, whatever. And she had called me all day the day that she went, and she just, Mom, I just don't feel well. She got really sick. And then I said, well, make a doctor's appointment for tomorrow. By the end of the evening, she couldn't bear it. And I said, well, go to the ER. And so she tried to go to urgent care, and eventually she couldn't. She went to the ER and had to have a procedure. She was very sick and had to have medications for afterwards. Anyways, so this is, like I said, a week before graduation. And then she did ultimately get better. And, she, then John handed her, so anyways, I just kind of feel like she was still in school, that he should be taking care of her.
So thank you, Ms. Wanzer. Hope turned 18 on April 4th.
Yes.
And the hospitalization was middle of May, I believe, the 15th.
Buckle up, guys. Today we're going to step inside a courtroom where a simple financial dispute quickly turns emotional. Right from the beginning, the mother lays out her reality, living on disability with barely enough to survive. She claims the father has taken advantage of her situation again and again. The tension is immediate. This isn't just about money anymore. It's about broken promises, past resentment, and a parent feeling pushed into a corner with no real support.
Middle of May, and she was still in high school, yes.
Okay. And the temporary child support order, I saw that the child support order related to uninsured medical expenses was dated December 14th of 2012. So that's the document that I'm looking at. Is that the same document you're looking at that relates to uninsured medical expenses?
I'm unaware about any, yeah, I think so, but there was the child support was completely stricken.
I don't see that order of 2012 was ever stricken, so it's still in effect.
All I know is that there was never any child support. John had waived it. We had decided together that we had waived it. Also, and
is there an order that says that child support was waived?
No, we did it privately.
Okay. All right.
With support enforcement.
Okay. All right. And then let me ask you, looking at that temporary child support order from December of 2012, it says that there's a division of responsibility that Ms. Wanzer would pay 31% and Mr. Miranda would pay 69%, and that order did not necessarily contemplate continuing obligations past the age 18, except for post-secondary education, where it specifically said that provision was reserved for the future. So if my understanding, and assuming that order is still in effect, there's not an explicit provision that says that past age 18, the uninsured medical expense is obligatory on both parties. What's your response to that? Can you help me understand your?
Well, my response to that is that she was still in primary, she was still in high school. So if you're going to extend it through secondary school, wouldn't it? I mean, doesn't that apply through high school?
Well, the one specific thing that said that was reserved for future ruling would be post-secondary support, post-secondary schooling. So that was reserved. So there's no explicit mention of it at that time. So the other question is the billing statement that you submitted that lists, the insurance coverage and the amount owing says the responsible party is Hope Miranda. What's your comment on that?
Because she, of course, was the patient, so they sent it to her.
Okay.
It's under John's insurance, of course.
Okay. All right. All right. Very good. What other information do you want to share about your motions for contempt?
Well, just that, that he has stated in the previous court hearing that we had in contempt, that he had made statements that he was didn't pay for Hope's plane ticket because he was providing her with a ticket to come home for the summer for an extended stay, which he hasn't. In fact, I just purchased her a ticket to come home next week.
Is that part of your motion for contempt? I didn't see that.
No, I'm just saying it shows to character of just how I can't count on his word even in paper.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Wanzer. Mr. Randall, what's your perspective on the two issues? Or I guess the one issue on the medical expenses, because I think the travel graduation expenses, there's no order that requires that. So I'm denying that motion for the.
All right, guys, now the story takes a serious turn. The mother explains a moment everything changed. Just days before graduation, the daughter suddenly became very sick. What began as discomfort quickly escalated into an emergency room visit and a medical procedure. Now there's a bill hanging over everyone's head. In this moment, you can feel the frustration. Because of the mother, it's not just a hospital trip. It's proof that the father isn't stepping up when it matters most.
Contempt of that portion. So the focus is on the medical expenses at this point.
Yes, sir. So I provide insurance. I will continue to provide health insurance for Hope, my daughter, as long as I can keep her covered. But I had told her previously to schedule a doctor's appointment when she had first told me that she was having some pains. I was not like, whatever. I told her to go see our family doctor and schedule an appointment. Hope is a procrastinator and didn't do that immediately. So a day or two after she had scheduled an appointment after talking with her mom, she never made it to that appointment because she went to the emergency room that evening. I kind of had a conversation with Hope after returning from the emergency room, just letting her know that, the costs are going to be exorbitant because you went to the emergency room. Everything is, it seems like almost double. And I said, if you'd have gone to the doctor's appointment, something may have been able to be done at the doctor's, which would have been relatively cheaper, and the insurance would have covered a good majority of it. Granted, the insurance covered almost more than 90% of the emergency room, so that was great. I didn't think that it was out of question to help my daughter understand that the process of going to the emergency room, that a bill comes along with that. I asked her to contact the hospital, let them know the situation that she is in, that she just turned 18. She's still, just about to graduate from high school, in the hopes that maybe they would either waive this or move it to, to a minimal payback. That was my ultimate hope for it, Your Honor. And in asking Hope to take charge of that, it was, she would like to be treated as an adult. And, with the treatment of, asking to be treated like an adult comes this responsibility. So I asked her to take care of it. Next thing I know, I'm being served with papers as far as the contempt hearing here.
Okay, thank you. Let me ask you, if I may. So the temporary child support order of December 2012 indicates that there's a division of responsibility for uninsured medical expenses, a 31-69 split. My question, I guess, is that as the person providing the insurance to the insured, Hope, if there's a remaining balance, the obliger or the party responsible for that is the policyholder, is it not?
I would say that ultimately, yes, they would come after me if Hope didn't pay it. Yes.
Right. Yeah. If Hope decides not to pay it, then they're going to come after you for payment.
That is correct.
So, and this just happened in May, and now we're just barely into August. Okay. Okay. All right. That's helpful. Let me just look at one item here.
Your Honor, when you have a second, I have one more question for you.
I'm ready. Go ahead.
I was just wondering, now that Hope is 18, has graduated high school, and she is working. When is she actually considered an adult, and where does our parenting agreement kind of end when she is considered an adult?
So there's a parenting plan that was issued on September 30th of 2022. And then when a person turns 18, the parenting plan is done, because she's a person of age of majority at this point. So he's no longer a minor.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Ms. Wanzer, do you have any just brief response?
Not really, Your Honor, just that, I've been on disability now for a few years, and I live on, minimal funds, obviously, because they don't pay very much. So I just feel like, John has taken every advantage that he can of me in the past and still does. So that's just, that's pretty much it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So there were two grounds which Ms. Wanzer brought a motion for contempt. The first was the travel expenses to Florida. So any order or any motion for contempt necessarily needs to be based on a court order, and then the allegation needs to be that a person violated or did not follow that court order. So as I mentioned earlier, there was no court order that required Mr. Miranda to make any expenditures related to.
All right, guys. This is where the courtroom shifts from emotion to pure legal logic. The judge begins digging into an old child support order from 2012, trying to figure out if it still applies now that the daughter has turned 18. It's a subtle but critical moment. The entire case could hinge on a technical detail, written more than a decade ago. And suddenly the room feels different, because what matters now isn't feelings. It's